And you're to witness
the recording is
something monumental.
It is fucking beautiful.
Nice.
Тут патрон в патроннике, ежели что. Головы рубили, зарабатывал вес. Тут каждый, кто пил, добивая ножом.
I want more of that, and I want to come tomorrow for his class.
I will fucking reach you.
He asked me, what do you want to talk about? I said, I don't know, dude, you talk whatever the fuck you want. And he's like, what are my limits? And I said, I ain't got no limits, man. So he has free reign of whatever he wants to talk to you guys about. And I just hope that you guys realize what level of conversation you're about to have. So please give him your undivided attention. Sonny, it's on you.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. I really had some ideas what I'm gonna. Well, no, I had some ideas maybe on the topic what I wanted to touch because I just like to hurt people's feelings. I like to see droopy faces. I like people when they get offended because when they get offended, it becomes you actually can start having dialogue. Because at first it becomes emotional, and then when you slap them around, the bitch has emotional, weakness. Some dudes actually remember that they are men. You know what I mean? And they, at least to some degree, start acting like one. So today, I actually this morning decided I'm going to switch the topic, and so here's the new name for my little portion here. Do not be a shitty student. And that probably applies to all of us, right? Because even those of us who teach, if we are not students, we should not be in this business, in this industry. It's just you stop learning, you stop growing, you have no business teaching others. It's as simple as that. Define to me a student, not just in this arena. Define to me a student. How do you define something that if you were an educator in any fucking arena, what would you define? Words have meaning, right? There is a student and then there's an attendee. I don't want no fucking description of attendee. We know who it is, right? The tactical tourists, all that other bullshit, the guys that, their main goal there is to fucking show their fucking latest, greatest gear on the range, shake their hands in front of camera while doing this, and then hang the certificate on the fucking wall. Those attendees, I like taking their money. I have no fucking problem spending that on sushi vodka and AK ammunition. Absolutely no problem. But I love students because they fucking stimulate me. They fucking stimulate me. They press me. They force me to go back in time. When I was a student, when I didn't know shit, when I couldn't do stuff. 30, 40 years into it, it's kind of like shit, shower, shave. It became your second nature. You don't even look at it as like, you all guys know how the fucking, physiological density works, right? How to shift the physiological density and how to explore the fucking tension versus relaxation. You all guys know that, right? Fuck no, I didn't know that 30 years ago. But after 30 years doing that, you kind of go like, of course everybody knows that, right? No, they don't. We forget. So please, starting with instructors, define to me a student. In its true meaning, what is a student?
Someone who came to you to grow.
To grow. Okay, so person seeking growth, person seeking evolution, right? Okay.
Someone with an open mind.
Open mind is double-edged sword. Sometimes that shit is so open it falls out. You know what I mean? don't forget, even within the student base, you know, there are categories. There are those who are explorers, there are those who are followers. They're still a student, they're still dedicated, they still want to evolve, but their evolution is going to be kind of adapted to, I really would love for Gary to like me. So I'm not going to push him too fucking far, I'm not going to question, you know, fundamental shit, because I want Gary to like me. I want Gary to go like, yeah, you know, my good friend. No, I like the student who I go like, this motherfucking asshole, you know, he pushed me into areas that are uncomfortable to me, and I love him for that. Although he's an asshole, that not makes him gay, okay? So, what else about the student?
Technology.
What's that?
I got one for you. For me, a student is a human. I mean, all of us, from the day you first touch that stove and you're like, oh fuck, that's hot, I'm not going to do that again, to now, where we're learning to shoot whatever. But the difference between just a student and a good student is the willingness to retain and apply that information.
Would you say students should, when we talked about open-mindedness, right? It has to be objective, and that objectivity is a sliding scale again. Because objectivity, as you know, we talked a little bit, objectivity of a beginner paramedic student who just came out fresh out of the fucking 6-month paramedic school, and he had a philosopher of paramedicine teaching him all the theory and all the cool shit and all that stuff. Not the guy who did shit on the street, not the guy who dealt with withdrawals with alcoholics, not the guy who dealt with, you know what I mean, the clamminess, and he actually recognizes without probably that stethoscope even touching if that motherfucker already has crackling sounds or it has wheezing. Because there's difference even visually, you know, right? So what I'm saying is that does that student recognize the fact that there are things that he doesn't know that he doesn't know? You know what I mean? Or he already lives that science on this shit is settled, I just haven't studied the latest science. Sir?
I think, to me, a student is somebody that can take the information that I'm giving him and then come back with a question that makes me say, well, shit, let me think about that, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that fucking shit up and get back to you.
Yes, yes. And this is actually interesting because the 4 points down in my little note that I put in my car after I pulled in here after eating at my trailer, I said, corner your coach. You know, and cornering your coach takes preparation and takes a thought process. You cannot just go like, hey Sonny, so how many people have you killed while you were in military? That's not cornering it. That's making me to think that you're a motherfucking idiot and I don't want to see you again, ever. Not because it hurts my feelings or I have nightmares coming back to haunt me and all that shit, but it's absolutely fucking irrelevant to your life, is it? Yeah. You want to pay me to fucking talk about war stories? Well, shit. Let's go to a steakhouse, buy me enough vodka, and I'll probably open up on them. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty damn simple, right?
Are we taking a collection for that?
No, we will not take it from that jar. That's for a good cause. That's for a good cause, right? All right. Anything else? Students, what do you would consider, like, for you to be a good student, what would you think coaches, instructors that are worthy of your attention and your money and your time, what qualities would they look in you? What would I be looking? I'm not saying I'm a good coach, I'm saying as an instructor, what qualities you think coaches would be looking to see in you? Sir?
I like, well, at least personally, I like when they try and coach you figure out the answer on your own instead of just telling you.
Okay, so no spoon feeder, right?
Yeah, like what are you doing wrong? Why isn't this working?
Yeah, so he's not addicted to a fast food approach to everything where shit is pre-digested pretty much, right? And just open your mouth, say, there you have skills, you're motherfucking Spetsnaz or Delta, right?
Yeah,
Let me just put beret on your head and you're a fucking certified killer.
I feel
right?
like I retain it better when like I figure it out myself almost, and I think a good teacher is able to.
Yeah, you need a little push here and there, right? And it's normal to do. So, student that sits there and expects because he paid $5.50 for the 2-day class, and he goes like at the end of 2-day class, I'm gonna walk out basically better than motherfucking Jet Li, Bruce Lee, and Steven Seagal together. And if I don't get that for $5.50, this is bullshit, right? I had private students that were coming in and paying like $10,000 for private training, and in a month they expect me to be, let's say, like me. And I look at that and I go like, bitch, let me tell you something. I do talk to people like that pay me money. I do. I really do. What you buy from your teachers and your coaches and your instructors, you buy their time. It's strictly on you how you're gonna utilize that time. This is your responsibility as a student. Come prepared to be a motherfucking student. Okay? So what does it mean to be a student? Relevance, right? If you come to a fucking class that we're teaching concealed carry and you dressed in your war belts, latest greatest fucking helmet with mounting for your nogs, and you spend 2 hours before the class, you arrive early just to show off your fucking toys and all that shit. I'm gonna be sitting here in a fucking Wrangler jeans and my tactical $7 leather belt from Target, you know, because you're like, Sonny, you have all the tactical gear. I on purpose don't wear it. Because I don't want to distract from what we're fucking talking about. I don't want you to be talking about my Spetsnaz undies. And how much power they give me to my balls and to my fists. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
are there actual Spetsnaz undies? Because I'll get them.
I'm not aware of them. Actually, I thought about it just now. Because you know, one of the most famous, well, not most famous, but like a standard, what would you say, the motto in Spetsnaz in Russian is "Победишь себя, будешь непобедим." When you conquer yourself, you cannot be conquered. On your dick, that would look awesome. Anything else? What are the qualities of a good student?
Sonny,
Yeah.
the student is someone who fails over and over again.
Thank you, sir.
They don't allow that failure to keep them from getting that knowledge and that wisdom, because that knowledge and that wisdom is what drives them through that failure.
I'll actually go further than that. I'll tell you that your individual mistakes and failures that you commit in training when you train honestly are better teachers than any of us will ever be.
Yeah.
None of us will ever be as good as mistakes that you make for yourself. You know, because those sink. Those resonate. This is not someone telling you, pointing you out mistake. You fucking feel it, it's visceral. You know what I mean? It hurts your ego, it hurts your self-perception as far as where your competence level is, and when you realize that I'm a lot fucking less than I would like to see in the mirror, right? All of a sudden there's this crushing feeling going like, you know, like having that heart attack, like elephant on your chest, you're like, ah, fuck. You know, everyone wants to put, you know, for the world to believe that we are John Wayne. But when you for yourself recognize that there's a motherfucking Pee Wee Herman in there, it's quite a feeling. It's quite a feeling. And you deal with it in your own small room. It's very lonely room in your head. Don't be afraid of mistakes, actually cherish them and appreciate your mistakes. When you make a mistake, do not allow yourself to get frustrated because you made a mistake. You know what that tells me? You have too much fucking ego. Because you think you're above making mistakes. And you're almost like shocked. Holy shit, I made a mistake, I failed. Who the fuck do you think you are? Above failure? I mean, that shows right there certain disconnect from reality. That you value yourself at a much higher level than what your actual value is. You know, it should be that sobering. You should allow mistakes to be sober in the moment that brings you back to who you really are. So when you make a mistake, instead of going like, ah, fuck, what we're doing is half speed, so if I speed up, I'm gonna do it better. You sucked slow and you sped up. You suck faster. It's like a bad porn movie. You know what I mean? It just went faster. Nothing changed. It's still a blowjob. You know, and any other ideas, the qualities of a good student?
If you go to a class and you don't learn anything, if you don't mess up at all, you do everything perfect, that's great that you're at that level, but are you really training, or are you just going and getting practice?
You know what? You can go to the most basic, even as stupid as it may sound, an array level fucking class with a pistol. If you're a good student, you can learn a shit ton. Mostly it's going to be what not to do, but those are still very valuable lessons.
You should take something away from everything.
You can learn about interaction. You can learn about body language. There's so much to see and observe. Make your fucking money work for you. You paid for it. You sacrificed your time away from your loved ones, from your job, from your family. Fucking A, suck it in. You know what I mean? Whatever you can, good, bad, or ugly, suck it in. As being a good student is this: do not have expectations when you come to class. Jordan Peterson says, you know, and many other philosophers say that expectation is the main reason for disappointment.
Yeah.
Do not come with expectations. You may come with the goals. You may come with the personal things to establish, you know, and it should not be, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I want to learn, you know, like in concrete things that you can put your hands on, this skill or this skill or this skill. Focus on learning your suck. Not why, not, shit, I can't do this, I need to work harder. Why you cannot do this. If there is a question, the next question should always be what? Always be what? Why? Why gives the substance to the what? So anytime you watch instructors, he's going to be doing some hands-on training or whatnot, and he's going to show some stuff that there's going to be things certain, maybe it comes through his other backgrounds, be jiu-jitsu or whatnot, and there's going to be small angles, and you don't get all the finesse and all the details and selective tension and all the other things that go into it. It's you failing. Don't go to him and go like, what am I doing wrong? First ask yourself a question, why am I failing? And instead of him asking you to show you what to do, ask him, why am I failing? What do you see in me that is wrong? Okay? That often itself puts an instructor in a role of what? He needs to study you. He becomes a student of you. He watches you, he watches your posture, he watches your breathing, he watches all the shit that you do, and probably the answer that will come up will be very different. It's not technique based. You have fundamental flaws that need to be addressed, that are much further down the scale from the fancy fucking tier 1 operator skills. There's this old dude who lives in Colorado Springs. Some of you old dudes probably at some point went to a fucking place called Paladin Press. Right? Remember that shit? Yeah. See, this is how you know you're old. You know fucking Paladin Press, and you actually still have 20 books that you bought off of that shit, right? And some VHS tapes in some box somewhere in the storage, right? I do. I still do. That guy is that fucking old, His name is Mark McYoung. Otherwise, sometimes he's known as Mark Animal McYoung. Okay, he wrote a number of books about self-defense. He no longer teaches like physical stuff. He lectures a lot. I borrowed or stole, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Saying, and he goes like, what is the difference between the theory and the practice? In theory, none. Repeat that to yourself again. And what I see a lot is a lot of knowledge being shared and wisdom being thrown out in the air without being able to demonstrate an example of it. Right? So everybody gets the fucking idea, right? Let's take a couple of simple examples. Moving targets are harder to hit, right? Who agrees or disagrees? Okay, how do we demonstrate it to people? Whether you're a student or you're an instructor, how can we demonstrate it without having a fucking remote control targets moving down the range and all of a sudden it starts missing because they move unpredictably, they move at different speeds, they change depths, 3D changes happening and all that stuff. How do we demonstrate it simply to where every human being with IQ above 80 will grasp it? I'll use you, sir. Don't worry, I'm not going to hit you. You're going to hit me. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to tell the guy pretty simple. So this is the guy that moves to shoot, right? He moves, he stops, he shoots. When you see me open the hand, I want you to just hit it. Okay. Within a second, he hits it, right? Within a second, he hits it. It's not a problem. Didn't miss one. The other crazy guy says you have to train to move and shoot. This is going to be always open because it shoots at any time. So you hit it at any point in time. Okay. Not very high success ratio. How much clearer can this be? You know what I mean? Now, if you look at his attention and all that stuff, when I do this and that, it's pretty clear. Boom, boom, focusing, boom, right? When this is happening, what is he doing? He's constantly tracking and chasing. Is he being proactive? Who's being proactive? Who's being reactive? Write this down. In the fight, you don't want to be a consequence, you want to be a reason. You want to be a reason for consequences that will be following them.
Is that the same as action's always faster than reaction?
I'm about to demonstrate that. No, I'm gonna ask you to stand up. You're gonna have a wet dream become reality, because you're gonna help it demonstrate that.
I'm so fucked.
Oh, you don't need to, you only need to pull the trigger.
Can you say it again, Sonny?
You're only gonna have to press the trigger. That's all.
The quote.
Huh?
The quote.
What's the quote?
The quote, you said the right.
Oh, the one that I said, right, don't be the consequence, be the reason in the fight. Basically, you the one, it's a fancy way to say that take the initiative, rob the motherfucker mentally, physically, emotionally, and never give it back until he's unable and or unwilling to continue. It's not self-defense. Okay? Drop the thing out of your head that it's self-defense. It's defense against self. All right? Action versus reaction. Come on. I'm about to break rules, guys.
Hell yeah.
All of them. Just to pass this around a few people, just to make sure that the weapon is clear, non-loaded, and all this. Check it out, touch it, feel it, just to make sure that the Holy Ghost somehow doesn't put a fucking bullet in there and all that. If a guy who's like really good at instructing paramedic medical stuff, you know, mentally, obviously his faculties are all there, he says clear, and 3 other schmucks say it's clear, I would say it's clear. Is everyone good now with this?
Yeah.
Is this weapon loaded?
No.
No? Just like those cars are not moving, right? Yep. Thank you. Logic. Look at it one more time. Sound clear?
Yep.
Put it to my hand. Put the finger on the trigger. When you see me move, pull the trigger. Action versus reaction. No more, no less, guys. This is not. Do not do this live fire, please.
I did that drill with the UTMs in that class.
Yeah, UTMs is fine, but make sure you have eye protection if you're using UTMs. or even ears. You know, common fucking sense that not as common as we would like to believe it is. Right? Action versus reaction, guys. There cannot be clearer demonstration than that, right? Now, when the distances are changing, all of that changes because the amount of body mass you have to move and on changes, and now his field of vision changes, and many other things change, and now we start talking skill development, attitude development, on and on and on and on. As a student, not to be a shitty student is what you should not do is this. You should not look for prepared recipes for success. Your strive should be to understand the underlying principles of why shit works. Instead of memorizing 50 different fucking special forces techniques that make you a certified killer. Why do those certified killers make shit work? What clicks different? What works different? What is the ratio of this versus that? Why do they are constant and consistent with? So when you attend in class, or whatever class it is, yes, memorize the drill, understand what the instructor tells you to do. But you have time to sit and stand and wait while others doing the drill, right? Don't be a gear whore. Discussing the latest, greatest this or the chick that you saw yesterday in the bar or whatever the case might be. You didn't come here to socialize. When we drink beer, when we're done with the fucking festivities and all that, good time to socialize and all that stuff. Suck the fucking value out of time that you have paid for. I mean, and look at people, look at the mistakes they make and go like, I see certain common trends. If person starts moving this way, he's too fucking late, he's too slow. What's the next question? Why? Okay. What does it make, what that initiation of movement in such a way, why is it common to see with such an approach that the person is too slow? What within that movement, what parameters make him to slow down and not use the full potential of, whether it would be acceleration or gravity or whatever else he's using in any given scenario. Okay? That is being a student. Not being the one who sits back, looks at fucking latest, greatest gear. Hey man, what red dot you have over there? Oh, yeah, I saw that, the 509, the enclosed one, that's so fucking cool. Meanwhile, 3 dudes making 50 fucking mistakes, that's 50 teachers that you have up on stage in front of you, and you paid for the time to watch that fucking stage, and you jacking off about the latest fucking red dot. I would say that makes you a pretty shitty capitalist, because you're wasting money. You paid for it, guys. Right? I mean, it would be easier. I know sometimes it's time to escape, like even for me, like secretly, after 2 months with the baby and then the prior 9 months with the pregnant wife, I'm like, I miss you so much. Fuck, it's so good to be away. You know what I mean? Both is true. I miss him dearly, but it's so good to be away. You know what I mean? Neither one statement is a lie. It really isn't, right? But to be a good student, you have to immerse yourself in the time that you pay for. And I tell you what it does, guys. For us instructors, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, when you see fucking full immersion even in a small group, how does it make you feel? It's like fucking someone shot some fucking, the most potent upper up in your fucking arterial arch, right directly there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm high. I'm fucking high. I forget to eat lunch. My wife runs out in the range. She goes like, hey, it's 6 p.m. Go on. You know what I mean? I'm fucking busy getting high on people that are fucking hungry and immersed. At that moment, nothing else matters. It makes us, at least those instructors who love what they do, which I would like to believe most of them do, it kind of like confirms the purpose of our existence. Money is good in the bank, all that other shit, but that fucking high of students that somehow you give yourself credit to go like, man, I'm so fucking good, I got these motherfuckers fully immersed in it. No, somehow you got lucky and you got yourself good students. You know what I mean? Good students will fucking immerse themselves in shitty material and benefit from it. You know, so good material is just that it's a perfect storm. Good students and good material. Couldn't ask for any fucking better, right? But good students, even with shitty material, they will be immersed because they will be getting shit out of it. All right? So guys, you may not even realize what a big role you play in the quality of presentation you get from your coaches and instructors. And that's your attitude in the class. It's a huge, huge factor that affects us. I've been in this rodeo for a while now, and I can tell you there are like distinctly different classes. Distinctly. Like so distinct that I come out of fucking teaching 3 or 4 days and I'm absolutely drained. Mentally, emotionally, I don't want to fucking see my son. I don't want to talk to my wife. From other class, I can't sleep the whole night. I'm still fucking high on drugs, like I fucking snorted the best coke there is in the world. And I never tried coke in my life, so I don't know. But I did try crack once. That shit is scary. You know, poor people's cocaine. So realize that you may go there and you go like, well, professional instructor will always have a presentation level and depth of instruction and engagement and all that stuff at a certain level. You can fucking raise it 2 bars. Being a good student, you can raise it 2 bars into a motherfucking stratosphere. And guess who benefits? Both. Both. But you get fucking double what you paid for. Because that motherfucker will not take a lunch, that motherfucker will not answer the phone or look at the messages, he will not scroll to his Facebook or Instagram, he's gonna be like, oh, this dude is so hungry and fucking thirsty, and he's on my page, he's in the shit that makes my dick hot, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Enthusiasm that is calibrated, honest, and competent enthusiasm. He's not just fucking happy-go-lucky because he's a starstruck. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I'm training with the guy that I saw in Deadliest Warrior. Get the fuck out of my face. That's one of the stupidest shows that ever was, and I was on it. It sucked. And it's not reality TV, by the way. It's all scripted. This is very, to me, this is very important. I try to start a lot of my classes now on trying to give a little lecture to students how to be a good student. So you can squeeze me. So I'm not going to be lethargic when I'm teaching. So I'm not going to be bored and just wait for the end of the day. Class is scheduled to go until 5. I look at the watch at 7. I'm still teaching. I go like, holy shit. Didn't notice. Don't care. You know what I mean? I'm in my fucking. I'm swimming in the waters that are comfortable to me, and I fucking love them. Plenty of fish. I'm not talking about the website. Right? Some of you nervously laugh. You go like, yeah, I visited that a couple of times.